Hello, Star Citizens, and welcome to another video. Welcome to our Star Citizen Nightly. I think this is episode 4, but I could be mistaken, so I don't know. It'll say it on the thumbnail, right? So, as always, we're running our 2 contests, so make sure you check out our previous videos for that. One contest requires some liking, disliking, and commenting, and then the other requires bringing people to the game using our code on the screen. So just go through our videos and check those. But yeah, let's get into what's been going on today in Star Citizen. So what I noticed is they came out with that good old subscriber promotion. So let's start with that. So we have what looks like 3 different outfits, 2 of which you get if you are an Imperator, 1 of which you get if you are a Centurion subscriber, and then the other one, of course, will always be on sale. So normally the best one is the one that they leave for sale, but I don't know if they'll have different stats or anything in the game, but I am actually happy to see that it's 3 different sets and they're not combat related. I actually like it when they do non-combat related armors because not everybody is interested in combat. Would you have guessed it? It's actually these look like they're hazmat suits, so there will be industrial hazards in the game. So I would guess that these are also, a little bit, allow for some not maybe the most extreme temperatures, but they allow for temperatures that are not, that would still harm you but aren't extreme. Whether that's cold or hot, I would guess that they're sealed for that as well, but definitely not going to a planet too close to the sun. That's not what these are for. These are just so you can kind of be in an environment that has multiple hazards, but where the primary hazard would be radiation or something like that. So I'm guessing there'll be different versions of radiation. Maybe there'll be nuclear radiation, and then there'll be well, I guess I don't even know the names of the radiation, but I'm guessing there'll be multiple forms of radiation. And maybe they'll all have their uses, but yeah, so let's see what we got here. So you Centurion level gets this one. So the Dark Biohazard Edition lets you retain an air of mystery while also letting the verse know you're a pro when it comes to tangling with hazardous materials. So another thing I'm thinking is you might need one of these in cargo gameplay. So this actually might come in handy once we get 3.23.2, because once cargo comes into the game fully and you have to load your own cargo, my guess is you'll need some type of hazard suit to work with things like Quantanium or something. There's going to be stuff that just in order to handle it, you have to wear a certain suit, because if you get too close to it, it'll hurt you, right? Or maybe you can handle it without the suit, but you're gonna have to sit in a med bed after because you're gonna be messed up. So that's what I'm guessing, that that's why I think these are timely, because of that. I think they are going to be required, and I think it's gonna be kind of one of those surprise things where they didn't say anything about it, but it's oh look, you have to wear radiation stuff when you do certain types of cargo loading. Obviously, if you have a tractor beam, you wouldn't need to necessarily have one of these. You might need it to bring the cargo up from your freight elevator, and bring it out. But then you could probably just hop into your ship and then tractor beam it into your ship. So another reason why tractor beams are awesome, but another reason why I love this game, because you do have to bring the right tools for the right job, and that includes your armor. So I'm hoping that, I wish it came with a multi-tool, so the same way some certain armors come with weapons. I wish these non-standard armors, the ones that are for hazards and all that other stuff, I wish they came with multi-tools or something, some unique multi-tool, a yellow and black multi-tool would have been cool with this. If not with the ones you get for being a subscriber, at least with the last one. So this one is the high vis, so this is more yellow. This is more black than yellow. This one is more yellow than black. It also has a slightly different, no, it's the same. I thought it was a different color here, but it's the same. But pretty much everything looks the same. This is just looks like a reskin. It looks like it's just a reskin. Yep, just a reskin where you get the nice biohazard sign. I like the yellow one more. I think when you're wearing a hazmat thing like this, it's important that everybody knows that you're hazmat. So this being more yellow than anything is great. The high-vis biohazard edition is sure to stand out even in low-light situations, and that cool logo lets the verse know you're perfectly at home going toe-to-toe with hazardous materials. So obviously, if you're an Imperator level subscriber, you get this one, and you get the one above. All right, and let's look at the one that everybody has to purchase. The Warning Edition lets you show off both your dark, mysterious side and the side that wants hazardous waste to know it's met its match. So, I actually, when I first looked at it, I thought I liked this one the most because I do like the striping and I like how it's only half striped. But I actually like this one the most. I think this one is the coolest looking one. So I think for once, Imperator level pays off. So I think subscribers should just be subscribing to support the game. This stuff is kind of extra, but when you've been a subscriber for as long as I have, you look forward to getting your monthly free stuff. So yeah, this is one of the better things I think we've got as far as if it's gonna be relevant in gameplay. If it's relevant in gameplay, it's gonna be one of the better things we've got. If it's not relevant in gameplay, it's just okay. It's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know if I would buy this one. But I don't tend to buy armors and weapons. But because of this, I want to go down first, show you the prices, and then I'll jump to that. So it's $12.50. $12.50 I think is a little expensive for this because it's just a hazard suit. I probably would have went $8.50 for this, and I think you probably would sell a little bit more. Yeah, I probably would have went a little cheaper for this, but hey, they're trying to make money right now, I think so. And this says something. I always read these because I have seen some stuff. If you would like to receive this flare as part of a subscription, you can subscribe before June 11th. If you subscribe after June 11th, you can pick up these and previous month's flare. Okay, just making sure. That's what it always is. Basically, if you subscribe before June 11th, you get that month's flare. It's normally a certain day. They'll say it. Hey, if you subscribe before this day, you can get this stuff for free too in your subscription. But if you wait too long, then you don't get it for free. You have to pay for it. So our vehicles for the month as subscribers are the Eclipse and the Gladiator. Obviously, of course, you can still buy these, of course. So the Eclipse and both the Eclipse and the Gladiator were just available at the Invictus sale. So I'm guessing if you wanted these, you already have them. The Gladiator massively needs a rework, so I'm probably not going to suggest it. I wish they would have done alien vehicles for this month because Alien Week happens this month, so that just would have made more sense to me. But yeah, the Gladiator, if you buy the Gladiator, you're buying it for what it will be in the future, which is it's supposed to be kind of like the perfect middle between a bomber, a dedicated bomber, and a dedicated fighter. Like, it can fight and it can bomb. So I love what this ship is supposed to represent, but I do think that we're going to get a Gladiator Mark II because it's very similar to the Hornet in that way, where all it needs is just an update, and when they update it, it's going to be significantly better. So I'm hoping that that's what we get, because then I might even purchase one of these if they do it right. But as of right now, I would not buy one. If you want one, I would just get a CCU to it from a $155 or $160 ship, and just hold on to it in case it changes. The Eclipse. So I kind of my biggest problem with the Eclipse is that it doesn't have weapons. Right, I feel like it could at least have like a size 2 on the front or something, because once you drop your three bomb payload, it becomes useless. It just flies, and I don't like that. I don't like that it does that. It is, you know, it's a torpedo ship. It's just meant to show up, drop the torpedoes, and go home. I get that. But it doesn't have enough torpedoes to do that. If that's going to be the only role of it, it needs to have at least 6 of those things. It has 3. And 3 is just not enough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. With the way torpedoes work in this game, it does not have enough. But I also think it's one of the best looking ships in the game. So what are you going to do? It looks amazing. It's one of my favorite ships to look at. But it needs, if you meet me in the middle, if it's going to have 3, right? Make them some gigantic torpedoes. Like, if it's only going to have 3, this should have like size 7 or size 8 torpedoes, something that could like one hit something. But I think it has either size 5s or size 6s. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna only give me 3, make it one shot. Like, you make this thing, I would go size 8s actually. I wouldn't even take a size 7. I need size 8s, size 8 torpedoes in this thing. And that would make it viable for me. Or at the very least, I should be able to go up to size 8s. And then maybe I can carry 5, you know, maybe I carry 5 size 5s, 4 size 6s, 3 size 7s, and maybe 2 size 8s, and maybe 1 size 9 if I wanted to go that far. That would make this ship much more useful, because then I could just prep it for what I want to do with it. But as of right now, I don't think it's worth the money, especially at $300. It's a no for me. But as always, you can get either one of these ships. 12-month insurance if you're Centurion, 24-month if you are a Imperator. I still think these need to go up. I would say it should be 24-month for Centurion, and I think it should be 48 months for Imperator. I think if you want people to subscribe to the game, you really have to make it worth it. 12-month insurance, I mean, it's double the 6-month insurance you normally get, but it's still not, it's nothing that makes me jump out of my seat. Whereas 24-month is where I start to be like, okay, like if I am gonna buy a non-LTI ship, at least 24 months is like 2 years of, once the game starts, I have 2 years before I have to even worry about insurance. And then 48 months is 4 years of not having to worry about it. And I think that's really good. So, you know, I mean, you could even go 4 years for Centurion and 8 years for Imperator, and do it even better. So, I mean, it's insurance, and you want people to actually purchase these ships. And I don't know how many people are purchasing these ships with that type of insurance. But, you know, at least we can upgrade to them this month, you know, which I would suggest if you want these ships, upgrade to them. And then just the normal subscriber store stuff. All right, so now let's hop to our news, our nightly news. Oh, before we go to the news, I actually wanted to show you what's cooking. All right, so let's see if I can do this without messing anything up. Okay, so folks, because I've reached the end of my ship purchasing, you know, mountain, basically that doesn't mean I won't get any new ships. That just means I have enough basically saved to you know, basically I could melt a ship if I want a new ship, and I have a decent amount of credits to where I can switch those out. So again, I just want to clarify that, because a lot of people are like, oh, you're not buying any more ships. No, it means I don't have to spend any more money on the game unless I want to. But I did say that when the game, when I purchased the game, I was going to buy 1 armor set. And because I don't think people should purchase armor. I think you should get the armor in the game. And the only one that I've found that I actually like and I think is worth the money is this one. And some people have asked me about, you know, which armor set I like the most. This is it. This armor set is the only armor set that I've looked at that I've been like, you know what? I really, really like this one. It's my 2 favorite colors, black and red. This cape thing is amazing. The hood on it is amazing. Yeah, I love this. And it comes with that rifle. So again, I'm going to say this one more time because I know somebody's not going to, you know, pay attention to what I'm saying. I do not suggest that you buy armor in the game. I do not suggest you buy weapons in the game. I said I would buy one, and as of right now, this is my one. And, you know, I feel like if another one comes out that I like more than that, I would just melt this one and buy that one. But I do think, you know, if you're going to spend as much money as people like me have spent on the game, I think you can buy one armor set and be okay. I don't think it's too crazy. Obviously, you might lose it in the game. You get killed and then somebody grabs it and takes it from you, whatever. But that's why I say you should only buy one, because, you know, you lose one. And I do think that they will eventually have some type of insurance system to get your stuff back. I think it'll be the same way like you get anything else back. Except I do think it should be really expensive. I think insurance for things like this should be really expensive to keep people from, like, you know, abusing it, right? Like if it's 100,000 UEC to get your armor back, I don't think people are gonna be like, oh, well, let me just spawn 10 of these for my friends, right? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe you have to make it 1,000,000 UEC so that people aren't just spawning them for their friends. Like, you have to earn 1,000,000 UEC if you want one of your friends to get one, right? Because then they kill you and then you grab it, or whatever. If you're just dropping it for people, maybe people won't be able to pick up other people's armor unless they leave your party or they kill you or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they fix it that way. But anyway, Quirinus Tech Artemex Red Alert armor and sniper rifle kit. Which would be $1,750, and I would pay $1,487 for it. I'm gonna do that off screen, obviously, but just letting you know, that's the one armor that I plan on purchasing, because people ask me if I have an armor set or if what my favorite one is, and there you have it. All right, to the news. So this one is, I thought, really interesting. So apparently there's no tiger claws at Grimhex, and basically the Ursa doesn't reappear in Klesher. So people that are getting crime stats at like crime stat number 5s they're getting stuck in Klesher prison, and they're basically like, I'm just gonna log out of the game until I get out of prison because it's not worth it trying to get out of prison. So essentially, if we're not gonna get tiger claws, we're not gonna get and the Ursa's not gonna reappear, then what's the point of the prison? Because prison's supposed to be like a smaller punishment. It's not supposed to be game breaking. So the CIG basically said, this is being tracked by our teams right now. We don't have a precise date for a fix, but we are working on it. So I'm guessing that that'll be more of a 3.23.2 thing. So I'm guessing that'll come with the cargo hauling stuff and the freight elevator stuff, because if it was going to come next patch, I think we would already see some information on it. So I think the earliest you can expect it is 3.23.2. So yeah, so I wouldn't expect that anytime soon. All right, next up, mission payouts. I just wanted to ask a simple question because it's been something that's been on my mind, as well as my friends who play the game with me, why some missions in the game require upfront costs with getting gear and equipment, generally have long transit times, but pay out less than other missions. How hard would it be realistically to rebalance these numbers to make it to where missions that require more commitment have better payout? And why do Copian murder missions pay out more rep than bunkers? So all the missions are getting a rebalance for 4.0 and ongoing rebalance based on their popularity and profitability. We also have some adjustments coming in our next update, 3.23.2, with the new hauling missions. The feedback is definitely heard about mission payouts. There are many factors to take into account, such as the level of your reputation, but we keep a close eye on missions. So apparently killing Copians is a really, really profitable thing. But I do think the payout that CIG does is, right now at least, is for testing purposes. It's not for you to make a lot of money in the game. So whatever they want you to do a lot of, they make that payout more to drive people towards that type of gameplay. But they do try to balance it a little bit. They try to make it not so obvious that that's what they're doing, but that's what they're doing. So if, for instance, when salvage gameplay first entered the game, it was paying out millions. And it was because they wanted people to hurry up and go and play salvage gameplay. Now, that might have made a lot of people buy reclaimers and vultures that shouldn't have bought reclaimers and vultures. But remember when that they did the same thing with mining, right? The mole and the mole and the prospector were doing that, right? Now, I still think the mole needs to be balanced, but that's another conversation. But the idea is where the profitability is where they need to test the most. So if you look at new things that are in the game, the new things are probably going to pay more than the older things because that's what they need to test. So Copian murder missions, what are they testing? They're testing how do players interact with and how do Copians, or how does the wildlife interact with players? How do players interact with the wildlife? How does wildlife interact with the players? And they're testing that, so it's of course going to make you more money right now. But when the game is released, and probably, like they said, in 4.0, it's going to be rebalanced completely to the point where, okay, we're not testing that anymore. Now, how much should it be based on how popular these missions are and how difficult they are, how long they take to prepare for, so on and so forth. All right, last bit of news. So, it was fantastic finally getting the move all button. Being able to shift click items to move them as well is great, and being able to split with a manual type number is awesome. The one button we're missing now is a stack option. I know multi-tools can stack, but I can never get mine to do it. It would be nice to not have 2 or 3 pages of multi-tools. It would be great if we can get an auto sort option as well and have the sort button actually work properly. I haven't seen the sort work right since 3.17. Does the new database system not work right? CR said at CitizenCon 2953 that they were still considering switching to a new database system versus crowbarring the current one to work with the new PES engine, considering how inventory has been working since 3.18.0 and the delay in matching item pictures with the items and the other issues with sorting, stacking, transferring. It might be better to switch to a new system that fits better. It's only going to get more complicated as they introduce manufacturing and crafting. Now, CIG responded to this one saying, we won't have that functionality in this release, but we will continue to look at quality of life improvements for the inventory management system, such as a stack all button. No promises, but we do read feedback, and this is a very valid point. Now, that's not the type of answer that I particularly like from CIG because it's very general, but at the same time, at least they're giving you an answer, right? So basically, they're saying, we're not working on it right now, but it's very possible that you'll get this in a future quality of life update. So on one hand, the current system is workable. The current system is a little annoying, but it is workable. And so if the current system is workable, I would rather that they spend the time on other things, and I think that's what they're doing. Yes, they just gave us one of the biggest quality of life improvements that they've ever given in Star Citizen, so I'm not going to nitpick about the further quality of life things that they have to do. I want them to work on other things that are important, right? So episode we talked, the last 2, or actually the first 3 episodes, we talked about how FPS gameplay needs some twerks, some little things that can change in it, right? I said twerks. I think I meant tweaks. You can twerk the guns, whatever, as long as they work right. I don't care. Twerk, tweak. But yeah, whatever they do, I think they need to focus on the things that are making the overall game better, right? Because if FPS optics work better, then everybody who uses FPS optics is going to work better. The stack all system is great, but I don't necessarily know that everybody is going in and doing inventory management to the point where they need stack all right now, as much as people are shooting their weapons, as much as people are blowing up in their ships without any reason at all. So when I think about what we need for the inventory system, it does need to be easier, but what we have in 3.23 is very much so workable. So I would rather than spend the time on other things. But I get the concern, and I do think CIG, I think it would probably be best for you to just answer the questions that you actually have information on when they're coming, because when you give these kind of general answers, you're going to get people saying, well, Well, thanks for saying, yeah, it's coming and maybe we get it. But I don't think that really adds anything to the conversation. I think we would rather you just find the questions that you can answer and say this for sure, or this is a current conversation. But just saying you'll continue to look at it, I don't think adds a whole lot to the conversation. So there's that. And that is it for Star Citizen Nightly episode 4, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's 4. So yeah, let me know what you think about what we talked about today in the comments. And of course, make sure you check out our other videos where we mention how to do all our contests and stuff. And yeah, what do you think about these Star Citizen Nightlies? I like them because I think it gives me a reason to kind of check in on Star Citizen every day. And also it gives you some information that you might not want to go to the website and look for yourself. So there it is. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.